Sir, shall we begin, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. Namaste and a very good evening to the respected speaker and all the participants. Welcome you all to the 9th and the last session of our Bharatiya Management Navaratri e-lecture series. And today's topic is Insights into Management from Bhagavad-Gita. When it comes to management, there are countless theories, models, and strategies. However, when we delve into ancient wisdom, we find profound insights that transcend time and culture. One such timeless source of wisdom and insights is the Bhagavad-Gita, a sacred scripture from our ancient times. Written thousands of years ago, the Gita offers valuable lessons on management. To provide more insights into these lessons, today we have with us Shri Ramprasad TS, Principal Transformation, Nokia Networks, Bengaluru. He has rendered services in the IT and telecom sector for the last 25 plus years with expertise in software engineering processes, zero defect quality, and organization transformation management. He has served in many multinational companies like TCS, Motorola, Hewlett-Packard, and presently he is the Principal Transformation at Nokia Networks, Bengaluru. In parallel to this, along with his successful profession, he has pursued deep Vedantic studies under the discipleship of HDG Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami, International Pure Bhakti Yoga Society, Mathura. He has conducted frequent online satsangs on Vedanta, science of Kirtana, insights into Sanatana Dharma festivals. Shri Ramprasad has special interest in how to harness knowledge flow between Vedic scriptures, Shastras, modern scientific view, and Jyotishya Shastra, astrology, science of planetary influence. This study can benefit human race in developing values, ethics, excellence, and spiritual bliss of highest kind, preventing downfall into various kinds of debauchery and intoxication of drugs, etc. A warm welcome to you, sir. And now the session is over to you, sir.
Hindu, do we keep the video on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sindhu, for this.
So today Sindhuja ma'am couldn't join us.
Okay.
This is Dharani, sir.
Okay, thanks, Dharani,
yes, sir.
For the introduction. So, welcome everyone for the session. So I will begin to share. So I think that's a valid point you said regarding, sometimes people will be a little bit shocked that what has Bhagavad-Gita to do with management insights, because primarily we have been driven by the Western ideologies on management, and many people say it's a religious thing, what this has to do with this management insight. So when I got this request also, it was a very interesting thing that two different branches of knowledge, and how do you correlate and draw inspiration. And then of course, we have seen many times that learning happens from unusual sources, right? Even great innovations have happened by unusual sources. If you take in the history of innovations also, right? So that is where exposing ourselves into different streams of knowledge and traditional streams also, and finding a lot of insights is a very good initiative the Bharatiya management has taken in this Navaratri festival. So that's a very good thing. So let's start with that, saying that. So let's delve deep. So briefly, what I will cover is that's how it looks here. Sorry, how can I go? Slideshow mode. Okay, I think this is hiding this menu to do the slideshow. Maybe view slideshow is there.
Sir, there is one icon down, which is in the form of a cup kind of.
No, the Zoom thing is hiding that.
Okay.
Okay, no issues. So how I'll go through this is let's try to understand when can we use Bhagavad Gita and then how can we use Bhagavad Gita to derive management insights, and also the third dimensions of why we should use also. Why can we use Bhagavad Gita also, right? So, what is its what is the expertise inside Bhagavad Gita to cover as a field called management? So then we go to mapping of Gita to business, because when we apply one dimension to another dimensions, we always have to do the mapping of the different fields and see the correlation, right? And then we cover certain basic concepts of yoga, dharma, bhakti in business context. So these terms are often heard, but if you go to the etymology of Sanskrit and then see in a business context how this appears and what value we can derive from these great definitions, then of course we go to these insights from Vishada Yoga, which is the foundation. So basically, I will be initially delving into only the initial chapters, and because of the lack of time. So Vishada, Sankhya, Karma, Jnana, and Sannyasa and Dhyana Yogas, we see how do we apply in a business context. So then we take a little broader view of the later chapter insight and explore as organization as being. Can we see organization as a being and see what kind of insights that we can derive from that? And then how to build all pervasive culture, and how to manifestation using the mind, the organization mind. How do you manifest the vision of the organization? And then the power of collective vision through the Bhagavad Gita. Then, of course, the very popular topic where a whole chapter is dedicated in Bhagavad Gita. There's a three modes. The matter is pervaded by these three energies, and how to use that science in the business context. Then, of course, a summary. So that's how we'll progress. Please, I think we have last 10 minutes for question and answers. I will take around 45 to 50 minutes. So let's see, right? Please, in the flow of things, if I'm over time, please don't hesitate to ping me. Okay?
Sure, sir. Okay.
Sure. Okay, so welcome you all. So then I just cover the first point. Why can Bhagavad Gita be an inspiration to management? Is it a religious text, or does it have universal principles and laws? So if you see our tradition, the Sanatana Dharma itself is a very phenomenal based science. It doesn't talk of only, you just believe and that's it. It's not that kind of a body of knowledge. It talks about holistic. If you see, there is a medicinal well-being, which is Ayurveda, there is yoga for overall well-being. It is a way of life. It is not a religion in the sense that it is just a belief system. No, it has Artha Shastra there. I think I saw some of the speakers on Chanakya also. Artha Shastra, there is Viduras, Niti Shastra also there. In Mahabharata itself is a body of wonderful knowledge, in economics and political science. So this kind of very broad body of knowledge. There's no other religions in the world which has tackled all the fields, right? Like Ayurveda, holistic well-being, talks about holistic well-beings and eternal well-being beyond time. So that is where, as Bhagavad Gita itself says, if you see the shloka, it says, Mai sarvamidam proktam sutre maniganaiva. Sutre maniganaiva means like I'm the thread on which all the existential phenomena are like the pearls, right? Phenomena of underlying thread connecting the pearls. That's what I'm going to say here, right? So that is already said. This Bhagavad Gita talks about the fundamental concept of the thread, which is underlying thing to all the other phenomenon we see, the visible phenomenon, and there are so many invisible phenomenon, right? And because for all that, the root is this Mai sarvamidam proktam sutre maniganai. So the sutra for all the monies. And then if you go, says Aham Sarvasya Prabha Mata Sarvam Pravartate. So everything is emanated from this principle. Bhagavad Gita is talking about the origin principle, and also it is talking about the underlying principle in everything, which is pervading. So there is everything is in the universe is pervaded by certain underlying energy, underlying thing, and that phenomenon is covering all aspects. So why management? Any artist or any area is a subset of what this Bhagavad Gita is talking about. So it has every authority to, it's authoritative book to derive inspiration for every field of knowledge. So science of liberating from any kind of undesirable, unwanted things. That's what is Gnatva, this knowledge, this Gnanam is going to moksha se ashubha. Ashubha means anything inauspicious. So any problem is ashubha. any issue, any depression or anything. It's undesirable. So when you want to get liberated, when you got freedom, moksha means freedom. When you want to get freedom from anything ashubha, you can this knowledge will help. So that is where when we do a lot of problem solving in corporates and organizations. Management is about problem solving, right? 95% time we are into problems, solving problems. So the problem is something ashubha, it's going to happen. And then that is where we can get freedom from by applying these principles, the macro problems. Then it is a king of is a Raja Vidya. Because Bhagavad-Gita itself proclaims it's a Raja Vidya and a Raja Guhyam. It's all the secretive king of all knowledge. So that itself, so these are all the 5 parameters I want to generate the faith in all of you, or generate the confidence in all of you that yes, this can be an inspiration. So not only management. So you can wear different lens and derive different kind of wisdom, inspiration from Bhagavad-Gita. So that is the power. So this covers why it can be used in the authority of the scriptures. And slowly let's move to the other dimension is when can you use Bhagavad-Gita? So this is a higher scripture, right? It's a paravidya. So we should not use for lower means. Lower means is just profit generation. I'm just done with it. I'm having a very micro goal or very narrow goal of just generating profits by hook or crook or anyhow. My goal of my organization is just profits. I don't care for anything else. So that is where you should not use. If you have only profit, only motive, even if you use, it will not be of much benefit, right? But then you have a broader internal wealth of the society, of the employees, of the shareholders, all participants in a business. You're saying that we raise the internal and external wealth. You're broadening your vision, internal well-being, your corporate social responsibility. You're contributing to society, the growth, and you're interested in institution building. You're not just here for make a quick buck, 5-10 years, sell it off something and somewhere. These kind of not. No, you want to build institutions which stand the test of time. You want to build institutions which stand the test of time. So that is where the Gita comes to play. So these are the scenarios. I don't recommend it to use in any micro scenario, very narrow targets, but you have a very broader viewpoint, then please go ahead. Yes, this is the thing. Lofty ideals of the business. You are a startup, but you want to make an institution. You want to cater to the society. You're interested in real well-being. So these are the kind of lofty ideals where Bhagavad-Gita, because higher knowledge should not be used for lower goals. So just profit and limited enjoyment in the worldly thing, right? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So if you're interested only artha, kama, it's not for you. So that's where many of the times businesses are very narrow focus. Okay, artha and kama is satisfied. That's what I'm there. Profit, quarterly profit. That's all. But then if you broaden to include dharma and moksha, the freedom from inauspicious, freedom from liberating the society also, you have a holistic, larger target of how your business can serve the society. So that is where you can, this higher knowledge can be used, because higher goals, lower goals are subsumed. When you're targeting a higher, broader goal, a universal goal, not just profit, then your lower goals are automatically subsumed. You're going to make your profits. You're going to sustainably, you may go up and down, but then you're going to make it, right? So that is the power also. One has to always have a enlarging vision of the business. Brahman means Bruhat. Have the Brahman as the target, as an overarching vision of the organization. So that is some of the things which is very important, that when can you use Bhagavad-Gita. So as I said, if you do this comparative, Gita Shastra is the eternal well-being, for the eternal well-being of the individual and the society, collective well-being, and it's beyond time. It is past, present, future. It's all time applicable, right? Akshara, the Akshara Yoga, Akshara Shastra, Avyaya Shastra. So, but then business management is temporal, within time. But then you can have a larger, you can envision, you can expand your business for a larger goal. Not a krupana. Krupana means a very miserly goal, miserly vision, but a very broad vision. So then you apply the Gita Shastra, it will help you, because you're targeting the same thing, to relieve the pain, to relieve the misery in the world, to relieve the vishada. So that is where the Gita insights can be applied when the goal of business is holistic and elevated, right? The goal of business is holistic and elevated. You can use this Gita Shastra. So And then, as I said, it is a moksha shastra. It's a liberation shastra. The science of liberating from anything unholistic emotions, thoughts. You can liberate yourself using Bhagavad-Gita. Right? It's a moksha means go to the real meaning. Moksha means freedom, freedom from anything inauspicious, anything which is not desirable. So that is means it's a perfect problem-solving science, but for a permanent well-being, not a temporary fix, but a permanent well-being. That's how you attack the problem using the tools provided by Bhagavad Gita. So liberate the organization from uncertain, unwanted tendencies of Vishada, right? So that is where there's a little bit of foundation. How can you use this sign? This is a different dimension. It talks of different terminologies. It talks of dharma, yoga, bhakti, moksha, priti, bhakti. So all this kind of things it talks about. Other side, your management talks of finance, quarterly results, profits, your financial statement, balance sheet. How do you marry these two worlds and derive inspiration, right? So that is where you see organization as a Purusha. The organization, whenever whichever is suffering from the Vishada, you can take it as a Purusha, like organization is a being. Principles of bondage and liberation can be applied. Like if you say Sankuchita Chetana, Mukulita Vikasita, and Purna Vikasita. Sankuchita means very narrow vision, but then when you want to expand the organization to Purna Vikasita Chetana, very enlarged vision of overall well-being of all the stakeholders involved in the business, then that's how we can use. When you expand, then you can automatically use the tools. Then service consciousness, because everywhere there is Yukta, the word Yukta, yoga, and bhakti is service. The servant leadership is a very important paradigm also existing in the world today. So like our own Prime Minister, it takes Janata Janardana. He takes this model of, Sevak Pradhan Mantri, Pradhan Sevak. So that is a particular dimension, because when you take that dimension, you can start applying the various concepts of the Bhagavad Gita and the Shastra, our Indian Shastra, because it is service oriented. So Janta Janardana, customer Janardana, or various shareholders, even the right public. So that kind of a concept, then the service will be inspired. You have various participants, employees, shareholders, corporate social responsibility, the society, the government. So you can be a very enabler, an organization, business organization, be enabler while achieving the profits. But you are expanding your goal, not just profit. Then when you go for just for profits, then you may end up sacrificing, compromising on so many ethics. So that is where you bring these two dimensions and science of subtlety also. So Bhagavad Gita talks about invisible energies in play, which is the mind, intelligence, action, the secret behind actions, connectivity, natural skills, the Swadharma. Swadharma is a very, very prominent concept for enabling businesses. Because now, if you see in the Japanese model also, the Ikigai, Swadharma is, we see in various cultures, which brings forth complete well-being. So let's explore that, right? So we have to be very clear that we have to free something from Vishada. Vishada is any untoward experience, right? It can be a failure, product failure, whatever, right? So these three concepts are important that when you start mapping Bhagavad Gita. So this table provides you a very good mapping. So where is Bhagavad Gita happening? The conversation is Kurukshetra, the field of war. Field of war is where the Vishada is happening. So for a business, it is a marketplace, a customer mind space is where we are struggling for the customer mind space among competition. So there is a Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva. There is the first shloka. What are they doing? Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva. So this Mamaka Pandava is the competition. So a group of competitors are involving to serve the customer's mind space, customer better, right? And then the various activities of the business is action. The Gnana Buddhi is the knowledge management of the organization learning. And then the customer service, the Bhakti is a service oriented. So customer service is a very important concept in business, right? So, and then yoga is the interconnectivity. So yoga is the huge. Yoga comes from the huge dhatu, which is connectivity. So how is your connectivity between the departments, the industry, between customers, society, shareholders, employees, right? This connectivity check. So if yoga is Viyoga, then the Viyoga means it is not working. It is not working seamlessly as a being, right? In our body also, if you see the joints are not working properly, then you creates a lot of pain. There is no integration among the organs. So similarly, if you see organization a being, there has to be a yoga with the soul of the organization. So like that, Dharma is the ethical conduct, and hiring for Swadharma Ikigai as a natural skills and talent. So when you hire for Swadharma, it is a very bedrock of businesses, right? Which is the inherent strength of an individual. How do you identify it is a challenge. And then the dharma can also be applied in the adharma is a defect, because dharma is the swabhava of a particular object, like salt. The dharma of salt is salty, right? So similarly, a dharma of a product is to function according to customer requirements. If a product doesn't function according to customer requirements, is adharma. So the defects are adharma. So that is where then you can, when you map like that, you can say that why adharma happens. So you can correlate to the actions causing adharma, where Bhagavad-Gita provides you a holistic map of what are the things causing adharma, right? And the jiva is the organization itself, the living being. And then I just said, customer Janardana concept is very important, like Janta Janardana, which is used by our Prime Minister. So Arjuna is the Vishada instance, right? Where the Vishada is happening. It can be an internal Vishada within the organization, or we are having a problem with the customer side, with the customer Vishada. So you need to analyze both these dimensions. So this provides sort of mapping of parameters used on both sides, which can help you to apply the model and derive insights, right? I see some, if you make it full screen, click function F5 to go to in the menu, use view full screen. View full screen, thank you. Where is this? I went to view. Is there a full screen outline view? Surprising, I don't see a view full screen. Slideshow, maybe I can go to slideshow. Slideshow from current slide, right? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you, man, for the tip. So let's clear some of the concepts, right, before entering into the chapters. So as I said, dharma. How do you apply the concept of dharma in business? Right. So because dharma is glorified in Bhagavad-Gita, as if anybody is sve karmanya abhirata samsiddhim lavate, the perfection is attained when somebody is aligned to the swadharma or inherent skill of a person, not market driven, right? Inherent skill is aligned to the market, then the success happens. Swakarma nirata. Everybody has a swakarma. Everybody has a particular skill which comes very easy, susukam, and joyfully performed. So those kind of individuals, when you hire in a business, can get a lot of success. Swakarma nirata siddhim yada vindati tachru. Swakarma, when people are in their swakarma in a business, and a lot of success is possible, right? I think I can annotate also, but I'm not finding the. Okay, so swakarma nirata. So nirata siddhim yatha vindati. So swabhava niyatam karma kuruvan napnoti kilbisham. Swabhava, when you're in swabhava, you come out of all impurities. So dharma is ethics, alignment to role description. Suppose the role, when a role is there, there is a do's and don'ts of a role, or a description of how the role has to function. That is also dharma of that role. That's how the role is intended to function, or it is a nature, swabhava, which sustains. Dharayati also is dharma. So dharma is swadharma. Swadharma is a key to hiring and forming teams, interlaced with Varna and Triguna. So the Varna is a very misunderstood concept. What Varna in Sanskrit means color. Color means a particular skill, a natural born skill. A person is colored to do that activity. So somebody is a planning, somebody is execution and controlling people, or inspiring people is very good. Somebody is in a planning and strategizing function. So it's various colors we have. That is where the four functions of any being. It is also part of a human being, or any being to sustain, right? Brahmana is the face part, the above, the knowledge gathering, the information part. The face part is the mouth and all this, right? The speaking and analyzing, it is a Brahmana part. And then the arms and which protect one being is the Kshatriya part, and the stomach is called the Vaishya. Stomach is the one which digests, assimilates. The finance department, right, brings in the money. So that is where it sustains the organization, the cash flow, whatever you call. Huh? And then so that is where it's key to get this. So what Bhagavad-Gita says is that when these four functions are in harmony, the organization being can survive. So this is one of the very important dimensions to analyze. Okay. So that is where the concept of dharma is applicable here. Of course, the present day hiring and strategies are not able to identify dharma. So there is the swadharma of the individual. There is a natural skill. We need to design such assessment schemes to identify swadharma of a person and engage accordingly, because that will reduce stress. When a person is in swadharma, stress is reduced, joyfully performed. There is a natural motivation for doing the action rather than only result driven of money and this kind of things, right? So swadharma is an amazing concept which has to be adopted. Huh? So next is to go yoga. Yoga is the integration, right? Yoga is the integration. How well formed management is integration of the organization soul. When you form an organization, the organization takes it, but there will be a soul of the organization. Often ignored, the vision, mission, and these kind of documented. But then the founders carry the soul of the organization. That this is what we want to serve in the society. This is what we want to enable in the society. These are the problems we want to solve in the society. So these kind of organization soul is drawn. And then when all the members are closely knit around the organization soul, then you're in yoga with the organization soul. And then the customer emotion. Then whom are you serving? Is there a yoga with the customer emotion, customer empathy? So that is where you can understand the inner pain of the customer and provide that service, right? So this is the yoga part, which when there are cracks developing, so you should be able to analyze and improve. As Arjuna had this problem, right? Which will come in the Vishada. So bhakti is service backed by knowledge and empathy, emotion. So when a service is an action, but then which is backed by full knowledge and emotion, the empathy, emotion, then only it's called bhakti. Of course, it's very important, right? Many of the things, people make fun of this plastic smiles in organizations and hotels. Suppose they're trained to smile. So these kind of things, not a natural emotion. But then when a person is really believes in solving the customer empathy, the customer particular problem, the natural emotion, which is backed up with action in the front end, full knowledge, then it is bhakti, right? And that satisfies. When there is bhakti, that satisfies completely. And then that leads to further knowledge also and such. So with this, we end the first part, which is basically going through the terminology, is a basic introduction. And now I move on to the chapter by chapter analysis. So the first chapter is Vishada. Vishada is a problem or an emotion related to a problem, right? So that is where Bhagavad-Gita starts with the problem. Because organizations, business, everything we are solving problem. Problem is Ashubha, inauspicious. But then problem is also positive. The Vishada itself leads to wisdom. These Vishada of Arjuna, because of the right wisdom post, he sounded off the right post called Krishna. Then it led to wisdom. So Vishada Yoga or Sainya Darshana Yoga. Vishada, when you apply to with the market, suppose Kurukshetra is a marketplace. What is it? What does it mean? Is you identify the pain of the customer. Every startup, every innovation happens by relating to a pain. And Arjuna is in pain here, seeing the war field. So when you are on the field only, you can get the right customer empathy. You can identify with the customer problem, right? Empathy-based vision. And then darshan also. Senayor Ubhyor Madhya, right? Senayor Ubhyor Madhya means, please take my chariot in the middle of the battlefield. So that is where we have to be in the midst of the customer execution, customer problems, and that is where you can get this empathy, you can get this proper requirements. Many times, because of the complex organization structure, most people in the organization removed from the marketplace or where the customer utilization happens, where the customer operation of the product happens. So that what happens is you don't get the right insights, especially management. When they are only relying on the inputs from the people on the field, there is a lot of translation happening. There's a lot of intelligence being dropped while this is being translated from. So that is where, so Krishna is not in the execution, but he is not removed from the field. That's what I said. You can be removed from execution, but not from the field. Management leadership should get a pulse of the field, and that is where it is very important. This Sainya Darshana Yoga. Darshana means how do you view? You are present on the field. At least in sports, the coach is present on the field, right? Many times in management, you get removed from the customer reality. You can get the CEOs with multiple levels of organization, span of control. So they're not facing the day-to-day customer problems. So so the Japanese have a concept called kaizen. It's very important. Kaizen is go to the place of crime. Like suppose you're a detective, you have to go to the place of crime. You cannot solve the problem sitting somewhere. So it's a kaizen. Situate in the midst of customers, feel empathy. So that is where, and then the capture the emotion. Most businesses are successful today is because of the emotion. There is emotion behind the product, there's emotion behind requirements, emotion behind customer issues, and then when you solve, there is a happiness feeling, and that has to be related. So emotion should be the background of requirement. So that is where this Vishada is. Yoga is very helpful to proper vision and proper positioning to get that, and then the management lesson, right? So empathy for customer problems to be connected to emotion. Shoka Samigna Manasa. So where Arjuna he collapses at the last shloka of the first Shoka Samigna Manasa. The entire mind is overtaken by lamentation. So when you empathize with the customer, you have to be taken over that emotion. Then you can derive the proper functionality. Without the emotion, it is not possible. So, and then, but if it is internal, so Vishada can be used for both external from a customer viewpoint, and then when an organization is suffering, when you go to the trenches, when you talk to the ground level employees, you can feel the emotion many times. You know, like Lord Ramchandra used to go around in disguise in the kingdom to collect the citizens' views. So when organizations are suffering, you have to take first hand account of the feelings. So Vishada of the employees, what is troubling? Why the performance is not coming up? So it can be used for both internal and external. That's what I'm saying. So that is where you need people, or I call it the Parthasarathi department, who are removed from execution but not from the field. They are involved in the field. So this is what the senior leadership, and it is where to bring into it. So then only they can act like Krishna and solve these problems, right? You cannot. So this is very important. Vishada is the foundation. So Vishada management itself is ignored quite. You know, the whole trouble, or nowadays we see a lot of open 1-800 channels to talk to people, or loneliness and depression is. But within organizations, there should be collecting and harnessing these kind of emotions, and which can lead to a lot of wisdom, right? The whole Bhagavad-Gita is, the first chapter is Vishada. The pain felt by the customer, or the pain felt by the employees in the organization. This can lead to either great products. Every innovation is not an idea in the head. Real innovation comes when you feel the customer's pain and you come up with a product idea to solve it, right? So this is a very, 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 very important foundation, the bedrock of, if you want to apply Gita insights to management, bring in the Vishada view, right? So, but then as an organization, corporate management today had a lot of Vishada. If you look around internet, they complain of lack of trust. Humans are treated as assets and resources, all because of narrow vision. That profit is the quarterly profit. Quarter business is the only vision of the business, and there is no broadened vision of overall well-being. So, soul killer culture, lack of human fulfillment, soul blockers. These are all the Vishada of the inside the organization can be solved using Bhagavad-Gita, because all this is Vishada, right? So what is the first solution which Arjuna gives in this context of transforming Vishada into wisdom? The first step is Sankhya, breakdown. Sankhya means breaking down. Sankhya means breaking down the problem. So breaking down the problem. But then you need a coach, mentor, and trust. So coaching, mentoring are there. It's starting in businesses and corporate houses, not very powerful. You need the Krishna department. You need people to talk to who are experts, who are on the field, but maybe removed from execution after some years of experience. But then you need somebody to brainstorm to when there are these kind of issues, because Arjuna expresses to Krishna. He says, please tell me, What is the issue here? Yet Shreya Nishchitam Bruhitanmi. What will be the Shreyas for me in this Vishada? Whether I should fight or not fight, what is the problem? Give me the holistic view. I don't want an immediate short fix solution. I want a permanent Shreyas. Shreyas in Sanskrit means permanent solution to this issue of Vishada, right? So that is where the Sankhya Yoga comes into play. And then it does the breakdown into the soul analysis, the constant parameters and the changing parameters. When you catch on to the constant parameter, in this case, Arjuna's case, what was the problem? That somebody is getting killed. My grandfather is getting killed. But then Shri Krishna gives the knowledge that something is constant, nothing gets killed. The soul doesn't get killed. The individual doesn't get killed. So he separates the body and the soul. So that is called the breakdown analysis of the elements. So similarly, we should also do the breakdown analysis and identify what is permanent, what is temporary, which are the permanent parameters, what are the temporary parameters. Then you apply. So you come out of Vishada and you get into the knowledge path, right? And then there is Buddhi Yoga, there is Sthita Prajna Yoga, the equanimity culture. And then how the organization degrades into bankruptcy, right? And the organization, that cycle is given, the same cycle you can use in organization as a being also. Dhyayato Vishyantum Saha, Sangateshu Upajayate, Kama Sangat Kama Upadu. Kamat Krodha Bijayate, Sammoha Smriti, Vismriti, Buddhi Nasha, Buddhi Nasha, Pranasha. It's a complete disaster, it's a cycle. So when you are tempted to deviate from the customer service angle, when organization, a lot of funds are used for satisfying the greed, this is where it deviates from the service motto, the well-being. It gets into, individual enhancement of wealth and these kind of deviations. That is where the bankruptcy is always related to the Dhyayata Vishyan. Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. Kamat Krodho Bijate. Krodho was some smriti with the memory is lost of the organization. Why we put this? So if you want to make it an institution, of 10 years, 20 years down the line, so that soul of the organization has to be retained, then it will not fall down. So that is where we should know that when the deviation is happening. Right? So this is very important that you apply this transforming Vishada and wisdom. First time is break down the problem. Break down the problem, approach an expert whom you can trust, like the Krishnas in the organization. So the organization should have that. Then the brainstorming should happen. That's right. So then that leads to action analysis. So action analysis is the framework to. So there are three kinds of things which cover the knowledge in the organization. Shri Krishna says smoke, dust, and womb. Like Avritam Gnana Metena, the smoke covering the fire is the first level of covering. Whenever organization is deteriorating, the first symbol will be a smoke covering the fire, a slight smoke, and that is where is long surviving organization, 100 years, 200 years. If you see some of the organizations like IBM or many of these organizations are long standing, so they have the systems to clear the smoke. When there is a smoke, you catch it. And then if it is worse and further, the dust covering on the mirror where the organization, and the dust is on the mirror, you cannot see yourself. The organization cannot see itself, that where is the issue. And the complete covering of the organization, which has lost its soul, is the embryo in the womb. The embryo covering the womb, you cannot even see the womb completely, right? So these three kinds of covering, the framework to identify, eliminate greed. So this greed has got in, and the organization's soul is completely covered. The vision, mission is covered. And that is where this had Jai Shatru Mahabhav. Immediately this has to be identified and this enemy has to be removed. And then the stability, Samstabhya Atmanatmanam, the stability of the organization be ensured. So this has to be continuously scanned, whether this kind of a infection is happening in the organization, right? Prevent greed-driven action, minimize natural force of greed. Greed covers learning organization, it covers the gnana, it covers the knowledge, it covers the purpose for which the organization was created. So this will help you to remove the Vishada, right? And then the action analysis will continue. And then this hiring for Swadharma is when a person, you hire for people who derive happiness, more happiness in doing the activity than only focused on the salary, promotion, motivation. So this is where the karma phala comes. If somebody is obsessed with karma phala, you don't get the quality work there. How can the organization thrive? Day in and day out, all their worried is Because if somebody is not in the Swadharma, they cannot really get to the quality work out of it. Swadharma is the natural skills of an individual. So that is where this is very, very important concept, which is there in the Bhagavad-Gita, right? Swadharma nidhanam shreyo parodharma bhayav. You see, Swadharma nidhanam shreyo. So parodharma, taking the other skill is very dangerous and it doesn't lead to high quality. Right? So, okay. So then we progress towards the knowledge, the Gnana Yoga. So the important insight in Gnana Yoga is the Yoga Nashta. No matter what kind of organization you have drafted, you have designed, but there will always be Yoga Nashta. What is Yoga Nashta is the principles, foundational principles get infected and they get covered. Organization loses the way time and again. So you have to know that is a natural rule. Even Shri Krishna says that the science of Bhagavad-Gita got lost over a period of time. Again, I am reviving it to you, Arjuna. Kalena, sakalena, yoganashto parantapa. Yoganashta happens. Please understand the time entropy kicks in. Any great organization, they have the systems in place. You have to put systems in place to detect this entropy, to detect this yoganashta or dharmaglani happening. Dharmaglani means what it is, what the organization intended, it gets covered, it gets degraded, it's infection. So this has to be immediately identified, removed by propagation of knowledge, right? Knowledge of the history of the organization. How you remove dharmaglani is not by any means. That's where the recorders of history of the organization important. Organization heroics has to be recorded. Nowadays, the organization not spending too much in organization history. There are historians of the country and all this, but the like 100-year organizations, IBM, Nokia, we need these corporate historians who document this, because that has to be shared time and again to revive the organization's soul. And that is very important, because many times history repeats itself and you can solve a problem. Like suppose what we solved in 2G, the same approach can be taken in a 5G system to solve the problem. So that is where Bhagavad-Gita is telling that this is very important to heroic histories. Organization history has to be recorded, right? And then organization has to be designed on the 4 colors, 4 varnas. Those skills has to be there. And then whenever you have a department or roles, you have to have a combination of these 4 skills. These 4 skills are the fundamental skills for any entity, for a system to survive, the 4 varnas, right? So this is the whole thing, knowledge utilization, the descending knowledge, that the seniors in the organization, presently they're not much honoring of the seniors in the organization, right? When the moment you're not valuable, they kick it out for the present operations, you're not valuable. But then there is a lot of wisdom that is generated of the organization history, of the execution history in the senior people, which has to be utilized, right? Like Professor Emeritus or something. So presently the organizations are very short-term focused. Hey, this is cost. Let me try out this cost. But then so many of the intangibles add value to the organization is not. But then this, whenever dharmaglani happens, whenever yoga nashta happens, these are the systems which are, and then this great knowledge acts as boat, fire, sword, and cleanser. In different context, it can act as a boat. Gnana is plavenaiva. Plavenaiva means it can cross. What boat is a boat? You can cross over a certain river or certain problems. You can cross over to another shore. Sometimes knowledge acts as a fire. It can burn down so many impurities which you cannot escape. You can burn down. Sometimes knowledge as a sword. You need to cut some attachment. In organizations too. When you want to reinvigorate the organizations, re-establish, reinvigorate the organization, you need, and sometimes the organization nirdhuta kalmasha. Gnana act as a cleanser also. It removes the impurities and the organization is re-established. And the samshaya is removed. Samshaya is a symptom of vishada, a lot of doubts plaguing the mind in the organization, right? So that is where knowledge of the organization, history of the organization is very, very important. Though people may say, hey, what is this? Not needed. Let's focus on the current execution. But then you cannot make big institutions, organizations, big 100-year institutions, which can survive the test of time if you don't have this framework. Because Bhagavad-Gita is not talking of your next 6 monthly profits. That will automatically come when you have these systems. So that is where these are the very, very important concepts, right? Gnana is pavitra. So this is very, and then the shredding, the sannyasa is the constant shredding also be there. Sometimes the bloating happens, right? As organizations grow, there's non-value added actions. which are not aligned with the customer service, which are not aligned with a lot of supporting departments, and a lot of bloating happens. So eliminating the sannyasa means giving up. So you need to give up. As you grow, you have to give up. Then only we can grow. Non-violent analysis has to be done. So the organization as a being, the organization as a person. The organization has its own digestive system, it has its own excretory system, it has a circulatory system. The organization has the the data collection system in the like the eyes, organization mind is there. Organization. When organization learning can be there, why not organization mind, right? Peter Senge, a very famous book, Organization Learning. So this is important. And then when you come to the mind connectivity with the organization, so this is continuously reinforced. I'm saying we have to learn from, so the honoring the sincere failure attempts. So if there are sincere failures, you have to, Bhagavad-Gita says that sincere failures have to be honored. So I think I'm, how much time? I think already 5:50. Should, Dharani ma'am, should
Yes,
I? I'll take 2 more minutes and wind up, right?
sir, please, sir, please. Then we can take questions.
Okay, I'll take maybe 2 more minutes. So this is where the honoring the sincere failures survey. I think Reliance has a good culture on that. That failures are celebrated also because they reward them and new challenging because there is a sincere failure. It's not a failure because of negligence or something. When you attempt, sometimes there can be sincere failures. You attempt 10 products, 8 can fail, and that's where how do you the organization culture of rewarding them, the sincere failures identify, and then giving them new challenging assignment, then it can grow like anything. That's the organization culture demonstration. So this is very important. Punishing unnecessarily is not the goal here, right? You have to get the right thing, right culture going there. So mind science, whole mind science is here in this. I'm not on a time, but mind has to be initially, mind has to be conquered to become a friend. The central concept is mind has to be conquered. Conquered means it's a war initially. When organizations are forming, norming, so right, the initial stage, there is the organization mind has to be conquered. That means everybody has to be aligned, the deviations have to be, there's not an easy phase, forming, norming, storming, and performing, right? So storming is there, the war phase, when the organization mind has to settle. So that is where this nurture the collective mind. See the organization as a being, take care of each of the critical organs of the organization. That's what I'm saying. Gita gives insights. We are seeing organizations as a dead thing. So humans are assets, resources. But see the organization as itself a collective being because of the participants of so many beings. And then you see the magic happening. This is the central idea I want to give. And then do the analysis. And then you see wonder happening, right? So then you, so rise of the organization being. That is where Shri Krishna says in the Arjuna that Nihata Purvam. I've already killed. You've just become a Nimitta Matra, become an instrument and take the glory. Yasholabhaswa, you take the glory. So like that, when you create an organization being, by putting all these fundamental principles of Vishada management, the Guru system and holistic broad goals rooted in Swadharma, hire the right people who have the natural skills, and then Chaturvarna, the 4 colors embedded. I know the word Chaturvarna itself will become controversial, but then that is not what Sri Krishna meant. It is Varna means it's not a caste or something. It's a color of the skill. Varna means color. So Prana Pratishtha, when then the Prana Pratishtha of the organization being happens, you have to sense that then the momentum comes because all are striving towards a central thing, central concept. It's a one being. When organization functions as one being, there is immense momentum and they get great things done. We become all the people in the organ become instruments of that Vishwarupa. The organization becomes, then the organization becomes institution. When it is so nicely integrated, it becomes a organization as a one being, the Prana Pratishtha, then you see it becomes an institution. The days of an institution. So I will close for here. I had some other, I think maybe this last concept, sorry. So other concept which is very, very important is 3 modes. Because 3 modes is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the 3 energies which pervade everywhere. Even the people, the Swadharma is pervaded by 3 modes, right? So 3 modes pervade everything in matter. And then this we are getting influenced day in, day out. So you can build workplaces. I'm saying work environments can be built for various functions in a different combination of Sattva, Rajas. It's not that Rajas is bad, it's not that Tamas is bad. But you need, when you need relaxation, you need to build recreation centers, you need some Tamas in those places. But in sattva, you need when strategy, can't be in a hurry. When you need corporate strategy, you need a combination of sattva and rajas. But then with the execution, you need a domination of rajas. Execution. So like that colors, the work environment, why I said, because the color, the furniture shapes, everything can draw the either sattva or rajas, those energies. And then hiring also, you can, if you're in a team configuration, you have a very sattvic team and you bring one tamas team, tamas, the person you hire into the team. It's a total disaster, doesn't fit there, and it leads to dissatisfaction. So team configuration also, Bhagavad-Gita has a lot of insight, especially on Swadharma and these three modes when you have to hire. And then the Daivi Asuri Sampad also helps. And then the beliefs of, so as these three modes drive the values and beliefs. So if there is a disconnected values and beliefs in the teams, it doesn't work. The organization's being fails, right? So these are the kind of things we have to use it very properly. So that is a very important insight on the three modes. So a couple of other things I had, but it's okay. So we can throw open the ground for the questions, maybe 5-10 minutes.
Sir, there is already a question
Okay.
from Narendra. The topic is being explained very excellently. Unfortunately, can the conspiracy is spreaded? Probably he means that already there is a conspiracy that how can we consider Bhagavad Gita as final, which clear all our doubts in whichever field you take, because it was told in a battlefield and like it is provoking to kill others. Does Shri Krishna didn't have any other time to explain or guide Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna?
I think the main problem is the mind is a playground of this tussle. If you say that everything is peaceful and I will tell, that is not the situation in the world. The world is a testing ground. So when the world is a testing ground, if you speak philosophically, the world is a testing ground where the fight of emotions, the fight of ideologies happen in the mind. That's why the war is taken. The war is Mamaka Pandavascha. Mamaka means mine. I and mine and yours. Pandu's children, my children, their fight. So this feeling of that is there that is the whole thing, right? We are not thinking of holistic, the society improvement or a country, national or overall well-being. The feeling of Mamaka Pandavascha, that itself is the first root of Bhagavad Gita. That is the problem. That is called Mamakara. This is mine, that is theirs, let's fight. So the problem is that. To solve that only the whole Bhagavad Gita is there, right? So the war is in the mind of everyone, and then we have to clear that and to stabilize that. We have to win in the mental war. That's only jitatmana prashantasya. Only after win inside the mind you can attain prashantata. Prashanta means peace. It's not outside. It's not outside the problem. It's inside. We have to. So okay. So that is what I could inspire from this. So there is no, I think the whole thing is Krishna says nothing gets killed. So there is nothing to kill anybody. So the soul is ever living. Sir, I'm Madhu. Kindly explain how a man can transcend three modes of nature and his character. Base of so Sagunan Samadhi Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Sagunan Samadhi. It's there in the Bhagavad Gita itself. You can transcend the modes by service, by emotional service. You can connect to the origin, which is Sri Krishna himself, right? You can connect to the origin, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, by connecting and by serving, by aligning, and that is where you cross the modes. By independence, by declaring, not integrating with the society and with the entire cosmos, by remaining separate, Dvitiya Abhinivesha, then we get the three modes. Immediately you deviate, you get the three modes. Immediately you're aligned. So immediately you're deviating from the government principles. The police catches you on the traffic, right? So like that, you align, you come out of the three modes by alignment. Sagunan samatityana brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Bhakti yogena sevate. Bhakti yogena sevate. When the service spirit, with the right emotion, with the right knowledge, when you're engaged in service action, you come out of the modes. When it's selfish action, we'll be under the modes. Right? It's very clear in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Narendra, you're welcome. So I think we have four questions, right? So I think, we can close because it's 6 o'clock, but I had 3-4 slides. Next time we can take it.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for the wonderful insights. I think all the 18 yogas that we have in Bhagavad Gita, each yoga might speak something or the other where we can learn not only in management, but in our day-to-day life. I think we can implement whatever can be done actually. So That was very deep, actually, to say, you being in a corporate sector and your interest in this area. It's very interesting. Thank you very much, sir, for all the insights. Sir, I request you to join for the valedictory session if possible. It'll be there for another 15 to 20 minutes, where I'm going to continue along with this session now. So if possible, I request you to stay, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dharani, very much for the opportunity. Thanks everyone for the participation. I'll try to be there for 10-15 minutes. I think I have another meeting. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, I think we can now continue with the valedictory session. It is like time to draw a curtain to the Navaratri lecture series. So let us continue with the valedictory session now. For the valedictory, we have our special guest, Dr. T.V. Raju sir. I request Dr. T.V. Raju sir to accept the panelist request. Raju sir, namaste.
Namaskara.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us, sir. Dr. T.V. Raju is an academician with more than 4 decades of teaching experience in the areas of business management, finance, and teaching skills. He is a leading professor in management. Throughout his life, he has been practicing Indian ethos and Bharatiya thoughts. Dr. Raju has authored and published many books on management, both in English and Kannada. His book on accountancy is one of the leading books in pre-university and degree colleges. He was appointed by the government of Karnataka as a special representative of the government to the Karnataka State Higher Education Council. He has been conferred with the Kempegowda Award by BBMP, Drona Prashasti, 100 Most Influential Directors of India in the Education Sector, and many more. He was a former professor and director of RV Institute of Management, and currently he is the Director Planning, RV Educational Institutions, Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust, Bengaluru. Also, he is one of the Executive Council members of SES and President of Yuvaka Sangha. A warm welcome to you, sir. Now I request you to give away the valedictory address.
Thank you, Madam Dharani, for having invited me a panelist for the valedictory session.
So firstly, we need to thank you.
Wonderful.
Last minute nalli ಕೇಳಿದ್ರುನು ತಕ್ಷಣ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. Thank you very much.
Just now I heard Shri Ramprasad ji. What a wonderful insights have been given, especially from Bhagavad-Gita. It is very much required for everybody, for that matter. And at the outset, I would like to convey my Navaratri wishes to every one of the participants who have participated in this session. And of course, Shakti Devata has to bless all for their prosperity and a meaningful life as such. And of course, these Navaratri lectures, of course, it's a very creative one, and at the same time, probably for the first time, SES has organized these Navaratri lectures, right? And everybody is very, very active and influenced by the very devotional gods, especially to celebrate this Navaratri. And you have framed these Navaratri lectures so in such a way that almost 9 experts so I have given their insights on various aspects. So especially Dr. Trivedi on management cues from Arthashastra, Dr. Rajshekhar Krishnan, a question of leadership lessons from the Ramayana, and Ramakrishna Pajataya, Indian knowledge system sources for management, Dr. Muralidhar, innovation in Indian startups, unique practices, Dr. Ashok H.S., basic Indian concepts for management, Dr. Manasa Nagbhushan, comparing assumptions in Western and Indian management art. Dr. Purnima essay on Beyond Henry Fayol's Principles, a deeper perspective of management, and Dr. Venkatesh HR. So he has given a lot of insights from Indian business history. And finally, so Shri T.S. Ramprasad ji, he has given a lot of insights into management. So from the Bhagavad-Gita as such. And we have really celebrated Navaratri in a very, very fruitful manner, especially by performing puja to Goddess Devi or Shakti Devate, by offering very creative and critical discussions on especially the Indian knowledge system, especially in the current scenario. And lot of insights and inputs being given by the experts, which definitely inspires and influences us to change our line of thinking to a certain extent. In certain cases, it is really pragmatic approach, very practical, very realistic, and highly sensitive also. And in the other cases, it is very it is like a paradigm shift on account of several reasons that what I have seen. And Indian knowledge system has been of course dated back to several thousands years, strictly speaking, and its application is so wide in all aspects of our life. And whenever we speak about Indian knowledge system, the ancient schools, the value system, the ethical approach, and rich cultural heritage and quality of life to be referred as such. Of course, there's the season march to celebrate Navaratri. It is a sacred time to showcase theoretical, philosophical, and industrial contributions in the field of Bharatiya management. In Indian management, there are strong literature highlighting empirical evidence and cultural practices that highlights unique characteristics of Bharatiya style of management. And this lecture series aims to bring management lessons from Indian ethos. And this lecture series aims to provide a platform to understand about the basic Indian concepts and management lessons from the ancient classical texts and Indian business history. The Bharatiya way is sustainable and strives for the welfare of all. It is important that we regain the comprehensive knowledge system of our heritage and demonstrate the Indian way of doing things to the world. This requires training generations of scholars who will demonstrate and exemplify to the world a way of life so unique and peculiar to our great civilization. Of course, the new education policy 2020 recognizes this rich heritage of ancient and eternal Indian knowledge and thought as a guiding principle. The Indian knowledge systems comprise of Gnan, Vignan, and Jivan Darshan that have evolved out of experience, observation, experimentation, and rigorous analysis. This tradition of validating and putting into practice has impacted our education, arts, administration, law, justice, health, manufacturing, and commerce, etc. This has really influenced classical and other languages of Bharat that were transmitted through textual, oral, and artistic traditions as such. So, this knowledge of India, in this sense, includes knowledge from ancient India and its successes and challenges, and a sense of India's future aspirations specific to education, health, environment, and indeed all aspects of life as such. But management education is a very value laden field, but its value is of course deteriorating not just because of the way it is important, but also due to its nature. But management education does need to inculcate multiple perspectives since technological, organization, and personal perspectives could offer. Management education need reconstruction with emphasis on explicitly imparting education with regard to political, ethical, and philosophical nature of management practice, like and like. In this backdrop, the Bharatiya Management Navaratri Lecture Series was organized to facilitate research, integrating Indian knowledge system, concepts to management, curriculum, and develop a lot of awareness as such. So therefore, we have to really thank all the experts. So who now even though they run with a very busy schedule, they made themselves free in order to come online for Navaratri lecture series and made the entire series a most successful as one. And our team, the SES team, has taken a lot of efforts in organizing this Navaratri lecture series. And each and every lecture went on so well, and it has given a lot of insights, lot of inputs, and it has really influenced us to think in a new direction in the current scenario. So thank you very much for the opportunity to give to me. So to say a few words about the Navaratri lecture series, especially in the valedictory session. And thank you, Madam Dharani, for the wonderful opportunity given to me.
Thank you very much, sir, for the valedictory address. Before closing the session, I have some announcements to the participants. Certificates, when it comes to certificates, it will be issued to all the eligible participants who have attended all the sessions on or before 31st October. And then a feedback form will be shared to you in the chat box. I request all the participants to kindly fill it and send it to us. And also at SES, we keep conducting various research projects, lectures, and other programs with respect to Bharatiya management. Anyone who is interested to be a part of it, please kindly reach out to us and connect with us. Also, we have a forum called Research Learning Community, which is a platform for faculty and research scholars to advance their research skills and also inculcate research attitude and culture among them. So through this forum, we keep conducting workshops, research camps, fellowship programs, and also we are going to offer short-term courses on various aspects of research. So any interested candidates can reach out to us and be a part of our community to enhance your research skills. And also SES conducts capacity building programs on education, research, and Bharatiya management. As I said, anytime, please connect with us for more details. And dear all, we are finally at the end of the Navaratri e-lecture series. And on this occasion, on behalf of SES, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who have supported us throughout. Firstly, I want to thank all the speakers of the e-lecture series who have given a lot of insights into basic Indian concepts, management lessons from classical texts and Indian business history. Also, special thanks to all the moderators of the sessions till now, till yesterday. Actually, they are the ones who are pursuing PhD at our research center in management studies, and they are research scholars at SES. Thank you all. And I also want to thank all the office bearers and members of the Executive Council of SES for their continued support and motivation. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants. Without you people, it would not have been possible. You have made yourself free during this Navaratri time and have been available and are here to gain the knowledge for attending this e-lecture series and making it more lively and interactive. Last but not least, all the staff members, the SES family who have worked together to make this e-lectures a success. Thank you all of you. Dr. TV Raju sir, a special thanks to you for addressing the valedictory. Thank you very much, sir.